What is up, everybody? Welcome.
Hey.
We got Darryl Demps over here, Darryl Demps Jr. What an amazing skater in Austin, Texas. You guys should check him out. What is it? At Darryl Demps Jr.
Yeah,
on
the
Instagram.
whole legal name, yeah.
Yep.
Darryl Demps Jr.
Check it out. He's an amazing skater and also an amazing friend.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. So today we're gonna dive a little bit into Darryl's story. Darryl, when did you start skating?
Man, I started skating when I was like 11. Didn't really have any friends in school. I was like, man, I need something to do. There's this place in East Austin called the Millennium Youth Entertainment Complex. And I just remember I used to go there as a kid. There's like bowling, a theater, arcade, and like a food court and a skating rink. I was like, all right, I'm gonna start skating. So I started skating. Saw like this old head who was just smooth, just mad smooth out there. And I started learning from him. Yeah, I started learning from him for like a couple of years, and then I saw like a younger dude who was much older than me at the time still. He was like real smooth, like a JB skater pretty much, skating around. And I was like, hey, teach me. He's like, you need your own skates. And I was like, all right. At this point, I'm like 13. And so I go up to my dad and I was like, hey, I want some skates. He was just like, you got to work for it. And I was like, all right. So I started cutting yards. I ran around cutting so many yards. And I got smart about it because I got tired of cutting all these yards.
Yeah.
So I started getting the older kids around to basically, we made like a little business. We were just going around cutting yards. And I was a young one, so I would go up and be the one to knock on the door. Yeah. Can we cut your yard? $30. And then like we would just split the work and then cut. So that's how I got my first pair of skates.
I like that.
Yeah, 11 years old, man.
11 years old. This man was a hustler. Did you hear that?
Hey, my dad was like, "Hey, you got to get him." He covered half of it. I covered half. It was nice.
But that and also the fact that you kind of like you got smart with the business.
I got tired.
Yeah, you got tired.
This
man found another creative way to go about making money without having to use much of his time.
There you go.
That's a win, dude.
Hey,
that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. And so, you started skating. You said 11 years old.
11. Yeah.
11 years old.
Yeah.
And did you ever have like a little like break of skating at all, or were you just like skating consistently from 11 to your 27, 26 now?
I've had so many breaks. Digging deeper into like the story, like I started skating when I was 11, like consistently. I started jam skating when I was 14. That's when I found out about that whole little thing. The whole little thing. But yeah, man, from 14 to about 18, it's like middle school, high school age. My whole goal was I'm trying to get sponsored. I'm trying to get sponsored. That was my whole goal. And by the time I started like going to competitions, showing up at competitions, showing out in front of the sponsor skaters, just the ring people, and then I started making a lot of friends as well that way. After a while, I was like, man, don't look like you finna get sponsored, buddy. And life was really starting to happen. I was about to go to college. I started working more at my job. Had to make a decision, and I was like, look, like, are you gonna chase this, or what are you gonna do? And like, I decided to just start working more. So I actually stopped skating when I was like 17, 18. Nobody knows about it except for like the Austin skaters. I had quit skating, and I had like an Austin team, Ice Skate Entertainment. We used to go around, do shows around Austin. There used to be a lot of drag shows. We would be like the entertainment, like the halftime entertainment.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it was nice. Like from when I was like 16 to like 18, we were just doing shows. We did a bunch of shows for some theater places, some fundraiser places, some dance shows. I was entering in random competitions. Kids Got Talent was our competition I entered by myself. So we were really like going around doing shows wherever we could. I was like in a club on 6th Street when I was like 16 because I was performing. That was weird. Never want to skate on a club floor again. Like I said, like it was the most stickiest, nastiest thing you could skate on. But I had good times and good memories with my homies. I had quit after all of that because I was like, okay, I've done all these other things, but I haven't reached my goal.
What's your overall goal?
My overall goal was to get sponsored. Yeah, because I saw it and I was like, man, I want to be like that. I want to be able to be on a team where I wanted to also be able to make my own skate. I thought that was dope back then, at least. Now it's not really a goal. Okay. Back then it was like I was like, oh, that'd be cool.
But it might come along.
It might.
On the journey.
But yeah, so I gave it up after a while, and I think for like 3 months, I was just working, trying to figure out what college I was gonna go to. Like life really started picking up, and out of nowhere, one day on the job, I get a call from the guy who was running Vanilla at the time. He was like, "Hey, Darryl, we're thinking about wait for this plane."
Yeah, plane's going by.
Okay.
Hey. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like my first time like quitting skating. Was around that time. So I was like, all right, life is going. Quick recap. Life is getting serious. I need to figure out what am I doing. Skating's not making me money. Like I need to figure out something. I'm basically living on survival back then, but hey, I was 17. So I get a call when I was on the job, and he was like, "Hey, Darryl, we're thinking about expanding the team. Would you be interested in the flow team?" Now, I did not tell this man that I had quit skating for 3 months. I was like, this was my goal that I wanted. My only goal I pretty much wanted in skating. I had already did all the other things I wanted to do. As far as like going to competitions, meeting all the people I wanted to meet, competing, done those things. And my next goal was to get sponsored. And it was right in front of me. And I just lied to that man. I said, yeah, I didn't lie to him. I wanted to be sponsored, but I didn't tell him I wasn't skating. And as soon as I said yeah, after that shift, I went home, I went in my garage, I started practicing. And boy, it felt like I had never skated before, just those 3 months off. I remember like being like, what the heck? What am I doing? Like, this is hard. And I was like, you have to be good because now you're going to be sponsored. And shout out to my homies, man. They're like my bros. My homie Dre.
Dre's dope.
Yeah, he's dope. He threw an event. He threw an event at mine, like coming back. He like bought me a pair of skates because I didn't have a good pair. I was using them at Sonic, and I was like destroying them. They were fucked up. They were messed up. And so basically got the new skates, was breaking them in via training, went to the competition, and which was in Austin at Playland. The videos are up. The event is called LeMay. It's an acronym. It stands for Let's Accidentally Make an Event. Videos are there. That's a funny story too. Yeah, that happened. I think that happened when I was like 14 or 15. We created that. Yeah, he threw one of them events and got the people from Texas, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio to pull up, just the jam skaters. It was a dope event. And that was like the first time I got back into skating. And yeah, after that it's been a lot of on and off.
After that.
Yeah, I quit again, or whenever I went to college. It wasn't even, this one hurt the most because it wasn't even like me being like, I'm done skating. It was more so like I didn't have time for it.
You had time for it. Yeah. You got a helicopter going again. Get out of here, man.
Get out of here. Yeah, it was more so I didn't have the time for it. And I was still like busting out random videos, like randomly I met up with a homie, Remy, shot these like really high quality videos for me just because I had an idea. I was just like, hey man, I have an idea, this is inside of me, I wanna do this. And he was willing to work with me and do it, so I'm grateful for him. Ran with my friend Iman before the Remy videos, like my freshman year. I still had that passion to like practice. I just couldn't find a location really. So I was like practicing in random areas. And I was like, hey, it was like a group me chat, that's what it was. I was in a club at school and I was like, is anyone down to like record me skate? And Iman was like, I'm down. And so she came over and that was my first time meeting her. She was just like random stranger asking like record. She was like, I'm down. She shot this video and I got my second sponsorship.
Nice.
Because of the video, I was wearing like their clothes and they saw it. And then at the next event I went to, I got sponsored. But it was basically like me. I was only skating at those events, so like I wasn't training during like the off period, you know. Like I would be like, oh, there's an event coming up, I get to see all my people, I want to go, and I would go. But when it came down to like actually performing well in the circle, I wasn't, because I wasn't training, you know. So, and it was evident. It's evident in the videos. Go watch some things. You'd be like, that boy out of shape. And some of my friends told me, they was like, yeah, we could tell you haven't been practicing. And I was like, I know. And so that, for me, that was
honest. I like that.
Yeah, it got to be. And I appreciate honesty, and I appreciate the fact that they just left it at that. They just said, like, we could tell you haven't been practicing. They didn't come up to me and be like, bro, you suck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they didn't tell me that. No, and I didn't get praise for anything that wasn't good either, you know. Like, so I appreciate the honesty in that aspect. Be able to be honest with someone and not be like abrasive. And yeah, what else happened after that? I can't remember.
No,
another question.
And like on those periods where you're like leaving skating, or like when you had your absence of skating, how did you feel as opposed to like when you are skating?
Man, it's crazy because skating within itself hasn't been a release for me. It hasn't been an escape. It's mostly been a battle, truthfully. And this is something recently I've been going through. This last period of my life was a lot of like self-hate, a lot of bitterness. Bitterness is a big word. A lot of that. It's crazy because a lot of people have been like, oh man, your Instagram's popping, this and that. Well, thank you, I appreciate it, but life ain't looking all like that, you know?
I totally understand on that.
Yeah, so skating has always been a battle for me. Like, sometimes I go out there and I have a great time. Sometimes I go out there and I'm like mad at myself because I'm not able to release. I keep calling it like a release, like I'm looking for a release. Which means like I have like pent up energy inside of me. I'm looking for a true form of expression, self-expression. I'm not able to release that in skating because I'm holding myself back with like anxiety, overthinking, all this other stuff. Instead of just flowing to the music, instead of just skating.
Just skating.
Yeah.
And so now thinking about it, do you think like Instagram might have an impact on that? Like social media, like
both ways, man. Both ways, in positive and negative ways. I don't know. And granted, I take responsibility for like the way I've been, you know, the way I am. I take responsibility for that. I say that just to say like this is Instagram. It's like this is Instagram's fault, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not pointing a finger at Instagram, but like sometimes it could be easy to like, okay, this is what people are responding to. This is what I'm going to keep creating instead of actually creating what's inside of me.
Inside of you.
Yeah. Like that's not a true form of self-expression. It's a dope form. It gets you results, but it's not honest. And that's the way Instagram could be hindering, but that's also because of you as a person. You're chasing those things. Like I said, I take responsibility. In a way it could be positive. Like I really do appreciate any and every person that's hit me up and told me like a positive message about my skating. Because half of the time I don't think those positive things about myself. So someone telling me, hey, like you're inspirational, I'm like, thank you. I thought I was trash 5 seconds ago. Like I appreciate that.
That like goes to like we do put ourselves like on a higher standard than like most other people perceive.
Yeah.
And like you've been skating for a long time, and to you're still working on probably like newer tricks that you're still trying to refresh that. And like I guess what I'm trying to say is like I lose my train of thought. Give me a second.
It's okay.
Give me a second.
It'll come. It's like at work.
Almost. I just forgot what I just previously said.
Oh my god.
see, I told everybody I think I might have ADHD. This is a good time to show.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you. I think I have ADHD.
It's okay.
Yeah. Man, what did I just say?
And you made me forget. Oh man, hold on. It's like right there. I think I can remember it. Let me think real hard for a second. I start shaking.
Okay, yeah. We put ourselves like I myself too. Like I put myself on like a really high standard. Like to the average. Like me looking back at like my progress from like a year ago, I couldn't do anything that I could do today. But I'm still putting like myself on a super high pedestal. But me back in the past would have been like, dude, Tristan, you're the fucking shit. You fucking did that. Like, and I feel like that's very big. Like we put ourselves on a really high pedestal when it comes to like Instagram or like social media because like we're trying to. What's up?
that's a good song.
It is.
You put yourself on a higher standard.
Yeah. I tend to do that, like, for sure. Like lately, I've been like, I stopped kind of like using Instagram, like scrolling. I barely use Instagram now. I kind of just post on it.
Nice.
Like that might sound kind of like weird, and I'm sorry, like people out there. Like, I'm just focusing on like a lot of things, but what I notice is when I'm like on Instagram and I see like a longboard influencer, I start like subconsciously comparing my style towards them, and like I'm trying, like I see like other things that like I could do or I could possibly work on, but like that's hindering my own creativity on working like on different tricks.
Yeah.
And when I stopped looking at all these influencers, I started like making up my own tricks. Like, and they just started coming to me. It's because like I wasn't like looking at like another person's style and like kind of like copy that in my head some way, or like make that work somehow in my head. Like I was able to like creatively like just have everything come out from within me and just make it work out that way. I thought that was dope.
There we go, man. That's beautiful, man. That, like, right now I'm gonna give y'all a quick recap. We talked a little bit about imposter syndrome, comparison. We didn't even address it as what it was, but it's basically imposter syndrome, and then comparison, and then focusing on yourself for your own growth. Man, about all of it, I got little tidbits about each and every one of those things. Very, very similar to you in that aspect. I would see. I would see other skaters, you know, and just comparison is like the number one thief of joy. I'm pretty sure, like, I was pretty sure you heard that quote. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure a lot of people heard that quote now. But it's so true, man. Like, I would see all these skaters that have been either skating a shorter period of me, and I'd be like, man, why are they so good? Why are they so good? Well, like, I must be lacking because I'm not better than I am, you know? And that's not really the truth. Like, if I just, instead of just focusing on how they were, and which is something that I did, like, I realized I was in a state, like I said, bitterness earlier. I was also like in a state of jealousy, and this was like early 2020. I like realized that, and I was like, all right, I don't want to be like this. How can I do this? So my biggest thing for me is like, I was like reflecting, and I was like, I'm going to turn this jealousy into inspiration. Be like, okay, that shit was dope.
That's awesome to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I was like, all right, this shit's dope. I'm not finna get salty about because this other person's great. I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, you did some good shit. That's some dope shit, and I'm gonna mean it, and I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna go back whatever I was doing and keep working on myself instead of being like, oh, why is this person getting this and this, or why did they have so many followers or this and that. I don't care. I do not care. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah, I switched that comparison to focusing on my growth. And whenever I did find the self-love that I, now when it sounds sad, that I had, when I did find self-love and I was really like focusing on self-growth, that's where like the outer growth came. It was inward first, and then like other people started to notice and sharing my shit more and all that stuff. And I don't know, just focusing on yourself makes a big difference instead of like scrolling through Instagram, looking at what the next person is doing. So, and I'm the same way. Like, honestly, I kind of get on there to post. I will mindly scroll sometimes, but I realize that it does affect me as well. So, also sorry to all the people I have not.
I'm sorry.
Replied to. You'll get a reply sometime.
It'll come around. It'll come around.
It just won't be when you want it, or it might be if you completely understand how this is. You know, I got some friends that like. I texted my friend Lee. She was just like, it's okay. Like I'm not putting any pressure on that. Like I feel like people reply when it's right in their spirit too. Because we were talking about some deep stuff, so it wasn't like a hey. Yeah. Like 3 weeks later, oh hey. It was just like a deep conversation. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I think that's probably good for right now. Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
You feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna like keep making a series with Darryl. We're gonna follow up with his story. So stay tuned for that.
Gang.
Thank you for tuning in. Go check him out on Instagram at Darryl Demps Jr. I'll put a little tag right there. And besides that, y'all take care. And hasta la pasta.
Hey, take it easy.